Wow, we're already in the final part of this relatively short series. I mean, in LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga, Part 7 was just past the halfway point. Anyway, let's start the finale with another weird villain that I'm surprised made it into the game for legal reasons. Is Alice in Wonderland public domain? It must be, since Disney did not roast Warner Brothers for putting this guy in the game. Roast him with lawsuits, that is. Anyway, why does this guy deserve to be in the finale, you may ask? Well, I'll tell you why. First, he has a gun. Not the main reason, of course, but we won't be seeing many guns at this point in the list, so it's worthy of note. Next, he has the mind control ability. You know, the one that the Riddler and Scarecrow also share. And finally, he has double jump. This double jump is probably the most unique of all double jumps, because on the second jump, he has a little propeller that comes out from his hat to boost him up. It's pretty cool. So basically, Mad Hatter's the Riddler with a double jump. And a gun. So there that is. Also, he looks like Peter Pettigrew, and that's all there is to say about that. Here we actually have a first in the finale of all times. The first villainess. Villainesses have a unique ability only to them, which is this little panel right here with the hearts on it. Basically, the guy behind the panel is waiting there to be seduced. I mean, why else would he be sitting behind a door with hearts on it? This is like the Lego Batman universe's version of Tinder. So the villainous panel access, basically, the villainous seduces the guy, and then the guy just lets him go through. The villainous panel is basically like the mind control panel, just with girls. That's all it is. But in addition to the villainous panel, Catwoman has the double jump, which makes a lot of sense considering the giant leaps she makes in her boss fight at the beginning of the Penguin Hero campaign. Catwoman also wields a whip, which is cool for Catwoman to have, but in this series the most important factor is how many abilities someone has, and how often those abilities are used. In this game, when in free play, scrolling through characters is so much more tedious because you have to scroll through every individual hero suit. It's really lame. So the less you have to scroll through characters, the better. I kind of think this is a lame cop-out, but hey, it's the exact same as the Catwoman you just saw, so I have to contractually place this one right by the original Catwoman. The black suited Catwoman was what you saw in the story, and this purple suited Catwoman was just available to purchase in the store. No special requirements to unlock her or anything like Hush or Ra's al Ghul, but yeah, like I said, she's the exact same as the other Catwoman, just in purple. And for that reason, that's why the classic Catwoman outranks the regular Catwoman. You don't see her at all until you unlock her in the store, so it's kind of refreshing to see something new. You already played the regular Catwoman in the Penguin Villain campaign like several times, and you also fought her twice in the Penguin Hero campaign, so we've seen enough of regular Catwoman. Man, I stretched really hard to make this segment regular length. In case you haven't realized from the several times I've said it, I like purple suited Catwoman more than black suited Catwoman. There it is. Next up, we have Mr. J's right-hand clown, Harley Quinn. As far as abilities go, Harley Quinn is basically Catwoman with a gun. She has double jump, which makes total sense considering that she is pretty acrobatic. She has villainous access, which confuzzled me a bit since, I mean, how could this dude get seduced by an insane woman with clown makeup on? Like, this isn't like Margot Robbie Harley Quinn we're talking about. This is classic Harley Quinn. It doesn't add up. I'm sorry. But aside from double jump and villainous access, she just has a pistol. And it's quite the inventory for a character in this game. A gun. You know? You don't see many of those. You don't see many of guns in this game. But that's really it for Harley Quinn in this game. I mean, obviously she kept pretty close to the Joker in the Joker campaign. I remember in the final level, in the Joker Hero campaign, you had to stop Harley Quinn's flipping around precariously on the rooftop by squirting her with giant water guns, and then proceeding to beat her up with the Joker at the top of the tower. It's pretty goofy when you say it like it is, but I guess it's fitting considering the villains. I don't know. Here we have the main villain of the second hero campaign and the main character of the second villain campaign, the Penguin. You get real used to having this guy in the levels he started in. With the Riddler villain campaign, the Riddler was pretty limited with what he can do, since his only ability was mind control, so I mean you were more likely than not playing the other villain, the guest star, if you will. But Penguin has a few very useful abilities that you use a ton. First, not anything big, but his umbrella is actually a gun. I mean, that's amazing in its own right. But aside from that, his first ability he has is the glide ability. Using his umbrella, he can traverse across big gaps, much like Man-Bat or Batman, and Batgirl's glide suit, and Killer Moth, and I think that's it. And finally, he has these little penguins. He has these little wind-up penguins that blows up on contact with silver Lego objects. If it doesn't come in contact with the silver object and instead hits a wall, it'll just turn around and keep going. If it doesn't hit a silver object in a certain amount of time, it just blows up on its own. Or you could blow it up whenever you want. Also, here's the final kicker with the Penguin. There are these little tiny purple doors sprinkled throughout levels. Only the Penguin can interact with these doors by fitting a little penguin in there. These purple doors are essential to complete story levels in the Penguin villain campaign or getting collectibles, so it makes the Penguin very useful and advantageous to play. Killer CROC is a character I always enjoyed playing in this game, and as it turns out, he has 3 official abilities. Yes, 3 abilities, and no, I'm not counting weapons. Killer CROC doesn't even have any weapons to begin with. All of his abilities are abilities we have seen, but all of them are really useful, especially in the villain levels. First off is super strength. Several villains have super strength, so you bet your dirty buttocks it'll be all over the villain levels. The next ability he has is toxic immunity, which is present in almost, like, this toxic gunk is present in almost every level in the game, so of course that's going to be a huge plus. Killer CROC's third ability is one we haven't seen in a while, which is the dive ability. Killer CROC can sink to the bottom of pools and do whatever it is he gotta do. The dive ability, as far as this game goes, is it's fairly rare, and this dive ability is only seen in Killer CROC and the dive suit of Robin and Nightwing. Also, the fact that Killer CROC has 3 abilities, while every character before this only has 1 or 2, or 0, Killer CROC is definitely a character worth playing. Here we have Batman's greatest foe, and also the nuttiest. You know him, you love him, well, some more than others. It's the Joker. The number of Joker's abilities aren't more than Killer CROC's, but Killer CROC's abilities are all shared by other characters. Joker has a specific ability that no one else has, and considering Joker is Batman's arch nemesis, Joker has a natural leg up. Anyway, let's start with the fact that Joker has 2 guns. Not more effective in combat, but it looks cool. Second, he has toxic immunity, which, I mean, since he was plunged into a vat of ace chemical acid, he friggin' better have toxic immunity if he survived that. Also, side note, why doesn't Ace Chemical take care of their deadly acid better? Like, they have these giant vats just out in the open for anyone to fall into. What was I talking about? Oh, yes. Yes, I remember. It's the final ability exclusive to the Joker. It's called the... What happened? God damn it, did the segment change? I didn't even get to talk about Joker's last exclusive ability. Good thing Joker has another variant that you can get post-game in the shop. Tropical Joker. But anyone who knows Batman knows that this is the Joker from The Killing Joke, one of the most notable yet controversial Batman stories of all time. That's the one where Joker handicaps Barbara Gordon and tortured the commissioner by unclothing him. And yeah, I didn't like The Killing Joke. I'm sorry, that just wasn't Batman. Especially the ending. I'm sure I'm in the minority here with that, but God, I did not like that. It was overly edgy, and I hate it when things are edgy just for the sake of it, and not when it's like deserving. Like whatever. Enough with the suspense. The final Joker ability is the Joy Buzzer Generator. Riddled heavily throughout the game are these green generators, and only Joker can deal with them. I know since there are 2 variants of Joker. The ability is technically not exclusive to one single character, but I said it's exclusive to Joker. I didn't say just one Joker, did I? Anyway, I'm not kidding when I say there are a lot of these generators. Obviously, there are a lot in the Joker villain campaign because you're playing Joker, but they are used for a lot for mini-kits, and I'll give that much credit. And also, obviously, this tropical version of the Joker outranks the original because you only get to play this guy after you finish the story. I've got to admit, these final 2 characters were not who I was expecting to be the quote-unquote best characters. But here we are, Mr. Freeze. He sure is useful in the game. First, let's get through the stuff we've seen before. First, he has super strength, which is a little surprising to me. Next up, he has toxic immunity, which is also a bit surprising to me, but it's probably his suit that allows for both of the mentioned abilities. But here's what makes him stand out from the rest. An ability only Mr. Freeze has, and if you can't guess it, it has to do with that big bulky gun he has. Not only does he whack enemies with this clunk of a weapon, but it can interact with these sparkling liquid you may see throughout the game. Since this ability is exclusive to Mr. Freeze, you don't see it much outside of the level you play as Mr. Freeze in the Riddler villain campaign. But hey, an exclusive ability is an exclusive ability. Also, obviously Mr. Freeze can freeze enemies just like Robin can with his dive suit's freeze batarang. I'm surprised too. I never expected Poison Ivy to be considered the best character in the game, but when I did the math, like the rocket science, 3 times over, and I gotta say it, Poison Ivy has the most abilities, one of which is exclusive to her. First off, for a character that's supposed to be good looking, like that's one of her defining features, that she's hot, or I guess. They really did give her the ugliest hairpiece of all time, didn't they? Anyway, let's get to her abilities. First, she has the double jump, which each villainess has. So there that is. Speaking of villainesses, she has villainous access. I believe Poison Ivy was the reason for the villainous access ability because 1, Poison Ivy's whole shtick is that she seduces men with her powers. Catwoman can probably seduce men with her words, but you have to be one heck of a creep to get seduced by a clown woman. I'm sorry. I'm not buying that. They just gave Harley Quinn villainous access because the other villainesses had it. Also, out of the 3 villainesses, Poison Ivy is the first you get to play, so the ability was pretty much made for her. Although in the level you play as Poison Ivy, Green Fingers, she doesn't use it. And I'm not done with the abilities, by the way. Next, she has toxic immunity, which pretty much goes without saying. And as for combat, she mostly slaps people around, but occasionally kisses a guy to death. Her final ability is exclusive to her, which is being able to grow plants. When there are hearts around a pot of plants, Poison Ivy can make it grow to like at an alarming rate, so you can jump on it or something to progress in the level. So, for all the things pointing in Poison Ivy's favor, this makes her the best character in the game. I can guarantee she'll always be included in your free play team, no matter what. So that includes this short series. Lego Batman, the video game, every character ranked. But I'm not done with this game. First, expect a supercut, of course. Second, I'm going to be working on an every vehicle ranked for the land vehicles, the water vehicles, and the air vehicles, respectively. So that's going to be 3 additional videos. And after that, I have 2 Switch games I want to do an every blank rank on, and another project beyond that. So yes, I have a lot on my plate in the coming however long it takes me to do this. But I will tell you this, one of the Switch games is an official Nintendo IP. It's not going to be a stupid $40 side-scrolling beat-em-up that was a waste of money. And the other is a Lego game. And I don't think many of you are going to be expecting that. But hey, that's all that's on my plate. And that'll do for this series. Adios, boys.